it's the end of day one. I don't know if I want to part this as like a big one or 3 smaller ones, but it's Friday and I didn't record it, but I just finished welding. Woo! All the way around that. I'll do a close-up of that at the end of this. You guys watched. We got the entire driver's side done. All the way up to the V-band. The only reason the V-band's not done is because I need to bolt everything in place and have the weight of the turbo on it and then weld it to make sure nothing moves. And I'll let it sit and cool in position. However, when I got this motor, I noticed that the passenger side head was missing dowel pins, and I didn't think anything of it because I was like, I've taken a bunch of these apart. I should have spares. I don't. So I can't put that head back on. But I did fix the heads. You also watched that, I believe. I recorded it. And got the broken exhaust bolts out. So now this is like, it's sturdy. It's in there. So we've got all this done, and obviously it's cooled off now. But that's going to be the look. The intercooler's mounted. It is stuck really far forward. So if we have IAT issues, I'm going to end up putting speed holes because essentially, I mean, if you go like this, that's all that sticks out from behind the bumper cover. It's an aluminum bumper. So if we have to, we'll just drill holes or slot it maybe, kind of like the other bumper was, and just like, we'll cut this section out from like here to there and have this be open and into the intercooler. And then the radiator is going to mount below it. But that keeps everything super tight and tucked up, which I like because it's, look at how nice, perfectly that fits. But because I don't have dowels, I can't do this. So I can't finish this tomorrow. So I think what we're going to work on tomorrow is going to be the back of the car. We have the anti-roll bar to finish. I have to put the mounts in the rear. I have to make the arms, do all that stuff. But I want to have the anti-roll bar fully functional. All right, we are back. So like I said in the last segment, which you would have just seen, we can't finish that up because I don't have dowels for that side, passenger side cylinder head. So that's done. That piece is fully welded on. It cooled with the clamp all the last 30 hours or something. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish weld the CJRC Average Johnson anti-roll bar to the actual anti-roll bar. We'll get that mounted in the car. I'm gonna paint this before it gets mounted because it is moly, so it does rust, and we live in Florida, so it's super humid. I just spent a little while cleaning it up. Yeah, so once that's welded and cooled, we will get it all installed. I think the first thing I'm gonna do once we get it installed is, or when I install it, is I'm gonna put valve grind compound on the ends, right there and right there. And I'm gonna work it in the bushing a little bit because the fitment that we had on the brass bushings to the tubing is very, very tight. It's a very, very precise fitment. So if it's not 100,000,000% perfectly straight, it's gonna be a little stiff. Mine functions, but it is a little stiff, so a little valve compound will eat up a little bit of that brass material, and that will allow it to move more freely. Once I get it to move a little more freely, we will move over to welding the top mounts for the arms. I have the passenger side one laid out. So basically what we'll do is we'll cut down the driver's side bar, we'll make them match, I'll bolt them together so that they're set at exactly the same length. And then we'll bolt those in, and then for testing purposes, what I'll do is I'll jack up the rear end with the car in the air, and we'll see the articulation and make sure everything's good. And that'll probably be it for today. It's Sunday. I'm here nice and early, try and get this done before it gets too hot in here. And it's also football. Football's back. So probably around a little after lunchtime, probably be time for football. So let's get started. Okay, so what you saw is now the anti-roll bar is fully installed. So I will include pictures, but let's do a real-time view and see what's up. All right, so we are just touching that lower bar, and now we're gonna start coming up. And if you look, anti-roll bar comes down, and it gets right to parallel arms. They're about level with the ground, and we are at ride height. Those are up there. I still have to put a full weld inside the gussets, but it works. And this is the view from the back. Don't worry, a lot of y'all gonna get that view. That's gonna do it for this weekend. It's football time. I came up because it was gonna rain and I closed some stuff and then I got back to what I was doing. But ARB is fully installed. Driver's side turbo system is pretty much done, other than one V-band weld, because I want to do that when it's underweight and everything's in place. So as for fabrication, what's left on the car is, the big thing is the steering rack. I think I'm gonna do that next weekend. Just gonna bite the bullet and buy a taper ream and taper ream out the spindles, and then I'll forward mount it. I think, no, rear mount it. It's gonna get rear mounted because then the spindles will be in the stock orientation and they'll articulate properly. Yeah, that. We're gonna do that. And then as for fabrication, we're pretty much done. I think there's a few more like finish welds I need to do in a couple of places, but not bad. That'll do it for this week. As always, comment, like, share, subscribe, get up and get after it.